Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It's 9 o'clock on a Friday, which means it's time for another video. And today I'm back with a magic rant. Now, a few people have said on the channel, are the magic rants back? Yes, they are, but they're more of a kind of a PG-rated magic rant. There's no effing, blinding, swearing, shouting. I'm not going to go red and have people concerned that I'm going to have a heart attack or mind my blood pressure. It's just really me talking about stuff within the magic community that I think needs talking about, because there's a lot of stuff that needs talking about from time to time. And, this is my channel. And, if I choose to talk about something, I think it's something that's really important to talk about. And today, I want to cycle back on something I spoke about a few weeks ago. So a video put about a few weeks ago was on live performances. And I talked about why there aren't more live performances on videos, because there's not. A lot of tutorials these days don't have live performances, and I'm seeing it more and more and more. And I kind of said on that video, I think it's laziness. I can't see a reason why you wouldn't go out and do a live performance. It's so easy these days to have a mobile phone with you, walk out into the street. I could literally take any trick here in this office, walk out to my local shopping centre, walk around for half an hour with somebody with an iPhone camera with me, and I could get like a ton of video footage of any routine I wanted to. It's very easy to get live performances. And I said that I think it's laziness. Well, you know what this rant is about? It's not about live performances. It's about another aspect of tricks that come out these days that I think is an even bigger issue, and something that I think is one of the main reasons why there's no live performances. And that's people, creators, releasing tricks that they have never performed in their life. It's not part of their working set. They've never performed it. They've had a brain fart, and they've taken that brain fart of an idea and they've decided to release it as a product or as a download. Now, this is incredibly easy to do with a download, because the problem with downloads is it's so easy to literally take any idea and turn it into a product. Once you're on something like the Penguin Partner Program, or once you've been accepted onto somewhere like Murphy's or somewhere else, you're not even having your stuff vetted. It's literally just a case of, okay, I've got another trick. I'm going to upload it to here. I'm going to upload it to there. And I've talked about, Stefano Nabil is a perfect example, who regularly uploads 2-minute tutorials. 2-minute tutorials. Just vertical. He's just there sitting in his kitchen. He presses on the camera. He's got a little vertical video. It's just dreadful. There's no production quality at all. But it's even worse than that, right? Because the problem is, once you've been accepted onto whatever platform it is that you're going to put your instant downloads up on, once you've been accepted onto that, you could literally wake up in the morning with a brain fart of an idea. You could then take that brain fart of an idea, and after you've had your breakfast, you can film a tutorial. You could then take that tutorial, do a little trailer on something like some editing software on your phone, and then you've got two videos. You've got a trailer and you've got your tutorial. You then take that, you upload it onto the Penguin Partner Program or whatever, and by lunchtime you've got a new product up online that's being marketed to thousands of magicians worldwide. And there is absolutely no way of checking if this has been worked in for weeks, months, years, or anything like that. There's no way of checking, but I have to tell you, it's absolutely bloody obvious that the majority of tricks that are coming out these days that are instant downloads are brain farts, stupid ideas, and people haven't worked them in. You can tell that people haven't worked them in. Now, maybe it's me as a magic reviewer. I look at a lot of tricks. I look at a lot of downloads. I may rant sometimes on the review show when I review a trick that's not very good, but trust me, there's a lot of tricks that I don't even bother reviewing. I watch the tutorial and I'm so disappointed with it. I just go, you know what, I can't be bothered. And I just end up not even looking at it, not even bothering to actually review it, just because I can't be bothered, because it is that bad. As a magician, as a reviewer, I like to talk about the good tricks, because they're the ones that, bring me joy. They're the ones that, I can see myself performing. I don't like to wallow in all of the bad tricks all the time, but there's so many terrible tricks that come out. There's so many instant downloads come out that by people who have no business teaching magic. You know, we have people saying, oh, there's people on YouTube that shouldn't be able to put YouTube videos up on how to actually do tutorials or whatever. Well, it's the same with some instant downloads. There's some instant downloads out there where the person actually doing the download can't even string one coherent sentence together. And you can tell, you can absolutely tell that that person has never performed this in the real world. Here's the thing, when a trick is worked in, it will change massively over time. So I've got a trick that I do that I'm going to be doing on my Vanishing Ink Masterclass. And I came up with it about, I remember I came up with it, it uses an invisible deck. And I came up with it just after I released Visible with the 1914. I remember thinking, I would love to have put that on the project. And you know what? I came up with it and I considered saying to Dee, hey, would you like me to send this to you? It's an extra trick that we can put on Visible. And I didn't. And the reason I didn't is because I hadn't worked it in. I'd just come up with the idea. I hadn't even done it in a gig. And I didn't want to actually put it up on a project without it actually being worked in. Now, over the last year, I've worked this trick in. It's now totally different to where it was when I considered giving it to Dee and giving it to the 1914 and putting it on Visible. It's totally different. It has evolved completely. The original idea is nowhere near as good as where it is right now for a variety of different reasons. And the first reason is when you actually go and perform this in the real world, you realize that some of the moves or some of the ideas or some of the routining just isn't going to work. We've all been there where we've scripted a trick or we've got a trick and we've come up with an idea and we've come up with a method and we've come up with the presentation we're going to use and we do it in the real world and it just doesn't hit. So you go back to the beginnings and you look at it again and you go, okay, what can I do? Okay, well, if I do this, I think it'll get a better reaction. Okay, that was better, but it failed at this point. What can I do here? And you end up evolving this trick over the course of a year. And if there's any creators watching this is the biggest piece of advice I can give you. You absolutely have to work your trick in the real world because it will become infinitely more impressive. It will become a much better trick if you actually work it in the real world. You will have it tighter, you will have it more impressive, it will be better in every single way than just taking an idea that you've had and rushing it to market. You know, that's so vitally important. And I see so many instant downloads where it's just a terrible download and you can just tell that the person hasn't ever performed it. I can just tell the person hasn't ever performed it. But we have an industry where we also have lots of physical products, right? And I see so many physical products that come out. And you'll have the guy sitting there on the tutorial going, hey, welcome to my project. I have to say, this is my favorite trick of all time. I've been doing this for so long and it's just wonderful and it's just fantastic and it's the best version of this trick I've ever created. And then you have, if you're lucky, you have a performance to camera. If you're really lucky, you have a performance to, one person in a studio. And it's probably their mate or their mum or their sister or their girlfriend or something like that. But more often than not, what you actually end up with is you end up with somebody not even bothering doing a performance. You know, and it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. And I think the reason is they've not worked it out in the real world. They've not tried it in the real world. And I know this for a couple of reasons. The first reason I know this is because when they're explaining the trick, they're kind of stumbling over themselves, like they've only just come up with it. They're kind of stumbling over it and not being able to explain it very well. Look, when I release a trick, look at any of my tutorials. I can tell you that trick inside out, back to front, upside down, left to right. I'm not going to make a mistake explaining how that trick's done because I've done it so many times. I know it inside out and back to front. If I'm struggling to explain a trick when I'm actually explaining it to people, that means it's not been worked in enough. It's just as simple as that. And I see so many people struggling to explain their own trick. Not only do they struggle to explain their own trick, but then there's no live performances. And, you know, I don't understand when it's people like Jay Sankey, because Jay Sankey is one of the best, in my opinion, performers in the world. I find him hilarious. I know that he can go out in front of a real audience and kill it. So why all of his products is him sitting in a kitchen just performing to camera? I have no idea. I don't think with Jay, it's that he hasn't actually gone and tried them in the real world. I don't think that's the case. I don't know what it is with Jay. But I think with the majority of people that are bringing tricks out these days, we have to be honest with ourselves. And the bottom line is the cold, hard facts in reality are that they haven't actually performed this. They've never performed this, because if they had performed it, they would have got so much performance footage. They would have got tons of performance footage. But they haven't, and you can just tell when somebody releases a trick, when somebody releases a download, when somebody releases a physical product, you can tell that this hasn't been worked in the real world. And they've just had a brain fart, they've had an idea, and they've rushed it to market. Now, if that's not the case, then what's the reason? There's people out there that aren't very good performers. Yeah, I totally get that. So get somebody else to perform the trick for you. Give it to that person. You know, if you're a creator of magic and you haven't got the ability to go and perform this to real people to the point that you can actually get a live performance, then go find somebody who is a performer and get them to perform it in front of real people. Because I'm telling you right now, and I'm not wrong about this, I'm telling you right now that the act of taking that trick and showing it to real people in a real audience will massively impact the method, the presentation, and how the trick works. So if you are a performer and you don't perform, if you're a creator of magic and you don't perform, find somebody that you can give the trick to and tell them to work it in and say, be honest, come back to me and tell me where I need to improve this, because I want your opinion. Don't just go, right, okay, you create this trick in this static environment inside your living room where everything's absolutely perfect, and then you assume it's going to work. Because here's the thing, without being funny, anyone who does this, anyone who doesn't actually work the trick in the real world, what you are doing in reality is you are taking the piss out of anybody who buys this trick off you. Because here's the thing, you have chosen to put this trick to market. You have chosen to release this trick to the magic community. The people that are buying this trick are giving you money. They're giving you money in return for your trick. And they are expecting a trick that has been worked in. You are selling a magic trick. Whether you're selling a trick that works on social media, or you're selling a trick that works in the real world, or you're selling a trick that works on stage, this trick is being billed as something that somebody should buy. If you are a magician, you should buy this trick. If it's not being worked in, if it's a half-assed brain fart, you should really give the people their money back when they realize it doesn't work. I've lost count of the amount of people that have bought out an Instagram video, or not an Instagram video, they've bought out a trick and it says perfect for social media, and then I go and look at their Instagram and they've got like 300 followers. Hang on a minute. If this trick is perfect for social media and you're telling everyone it's the perfect social media trick, how come I don't see you doing it on your social media? If you've bought a trick out and you're saying it's perfect for walk-around situations, why am I not seeing a video of you performing this in a walk-around situation? If you're bringing out a trick and you're saying it's perfect for stage, why am I not seeing a video of you performing this on stage? Because here's the thing, the best way, the absolute best way to sell a product, the best way to sell a trick to any magician anywhere in the world is by showing a live unedited video of that trick. Yeah? Show a live unedited video. None of this rubbish of walking slowly through the rainwater as the rain comes down with a close-up of your tattoos, and then it pans away and you see somebody doing a card flourish, and then it comes up and it goes, you're not freaking Michael Bay. Let's make that perfectly clear. This is not Hollywood. This is a magic trick that probably has a shelf life of 2 weeks at the absolute most. Stop pissing around, making stupid trailers, and instead show us the actual performance. Why aren't you going to do that? Well, you're not going to do that because you can't go and perform it. Why can't you go and perform it? The reason you can't go and perform it is because you've never done it in the real world. Because in reality, if you're honest with yourself and anybody else that buys this trick, it's because you had a stupid brain fart and you decided to release it to the magic community. And prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Right. Prove me wrong. Anybody that's released a trick that, in my opinion, is not well thought out, prove me wrong. Show me videos of you doing it. Mr. Blonde, if you're listening here, Mr. Blonde, I don't think your peak device has ever been worked in the real world, because if it had have been, you would have realised the glaring problems that have happened as a result of this stupid ass peak device. You would realise that it's dark and you can't see it. And it's not just me that says that, it's half the Magic community. I don't believe you've worked this in the real world. I think you had an idea for a really cool looking wallet, you got the prototype in, you thought that'll do, and then you've just released it without actually working it in the real world. If you had released a trick that had been worked in the real world, if you had an army of beta testers that were going out and working that trick for you on your behalf, you would have had somebody saying, hang on a minute, you can't really see this very well in low light conditions. Hang on a minute, I live in America and these business cards won't fit into this wallet. And then you could have fixed the problem before you brought it to market, as opposed to the shitstorm that's happened because of the peak device, whatever it is. So here's the thing. This video is to every single creator on the planet. Every single creator. If you create magic, if you're considering creating magic, if one day you want to create magic, if you've created just downloads or whatever it is, show me live performance videos and actually go and perform the trick in the real world to real people, because that's ultimately going to make a much better product than just half-arsing it and throwing it out there because you think that the Magic community will buy any old crap. Well, let me tell you something right now. The Magic community are at a point where they're just absolutely sick to death of tat coming out that's been half-arsed and not well thought through. We can't keep doing this, and we need to stop. Take pride in your creations. If you create something and you're proud of that creation, proud to the point that you want to market it and put it out for sale to other magicians, then be proud of it and actually go and work out all the bugs. Go out and perform it in the real world, and then only when it's worked in, only at that point when it's worked in, do you then say, well, here you go, this is my latest trick to the Magic community, thank you very much. Because beyond that, without that, it's just another crappy trick that's come out that hasn't been thought through and there's no live performances, and it's driving me nuts. So there you go, guys. That's another video in the bag. Do me a favor, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? I want to know. I really want to know. I really, really want to know. What do you think? Am I right? Am I wrong? Do you think that things need to be worked out in the real world? Have you seen a product where you don't think tricks have been, where a trick hasn't been worked out in the real world? How can you tell? I'd love to know. Let's get dialogue going down below. I'm going to be back again with a whole bunch more videos. So once again, thank you very much for watching. My name's Craig from Magic TV.